Hey, it's Frankie Savvy. And I had made a hurricane update for Irene about a week and a half ago, and it was the live footage, but I never got a chance to make a aftermath video, and unfortunately, I didn't get much video footage out of the aftermath, but there's plenty online. But here is a few images that I took around my neighborhood of some of the damage that happened in Irene. And you can see this tree a few blocks from my house completely split in half. Got a lot of trees down, trees uprooted in the storm. There's another one of that tree splitting. I got more pics, the part of Hurricane Irene. This is right down my block, branches everywhere. There's my house. Tree uprooted right down the block. Another tree is uprooted all over the place. And there's just extensive. And there's a tree that almost fell on my house. Roads blocked by trees. And this was a few more of the trees that split. This is just, around my neighborhood that I saw some of this damage. So I figured I'd show you. Well, let's take a look at what the storm did here now. The storm was very powerful, and as you can hear from news reports, the storm had caused a ton of flooding in New England. That was the main problem with the storm, was extensive flooding, power outages, and everything. But a lot of people have been complaining about, why the LIPA, our Long Island Power Authority, is having trouble restoring power. Well, we're on a way of powering our island that's been the same for the last 20 to 30 years at least. So when storms hit, they're going to go out. It's regardless. When you have winds over 30, 40 miles an hour sustained, you're going to have power outages. So people are complaining, yes, but you know what? It's a storm. It's going to do this, and it could take a week to 2 weeks for some people to get their power back on. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. We're still operating on old technology. We don't have the money to change that right now. So unfortunately, that is what it is. So anyway, let's take a look at what Irene actually did. This is the track from Wikipedia, the final track. And you can see, I don't know if you could actually see the color on this camera. It's very bright. But that's the track. But actually, right at the end here, right before it made landfall, actually it made landfall, I think, in New Jersey for first landfall, and then pretty much Queens, Brooklyn area for the second landfall. It was a tropical storm. Now, mind you, it was a tropical storm with 70-mile-an-hour sustained winds, so it was just under hurricane force. But regardless, this storm has proven fatal, especially in New York. I think now, for the whole storm, I think death total is around 40. I'm pretty sure. But that's Hurricane Irene, and, this one's going to be remembered mainly for its precipitation. It just inundated the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states with so much rain. It brought a pretty powerful tornado into New York State. It caused a lot of damage, flooding damage in Vermont, catastrophic flooding damage in the Northeast. Obviously, a lot of power outages, trees down, and coastal flooding. A very large storm surge came through, especially in southern New England. So that's Irene for you. Basically what happened, it was a little weaker than we thought it was going to be when it came up, because it became a tropical storm, but not much. And the flooding in Vermont, this is what this storm is going to be remembered for. But onward to the Atlantic hurricane season. Right now we have Hurricane Katia and Tropical Storm Nate and Maria. Now Katia is scheduled to pull out to sea. Now I was watching this thing for a while, and they weren't sure if it was going to get caught, brought up the coast, or anything, but Katia is probably going out to sea, but could affect parts of extreme eastern Cape Cod, because the last visible satellite for Katia actually shows the system not making that turn to the north just yet. It's still going to the northeast, and they expected the turn to happen already. So pretty much if you're on the Cape Cod area, I would definitely keep an eye on this thing still. I think you're out of the woods in New England, but eastern Cape Cod, you still could get brushed by some heavy rain and possible tropical storm force winds as this comes up. Still something to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at Maria now. Maria formed a day ago in the Atlantic here, and let's take a look at the track. Now, the thing about this storm is it's basically been battling a ton of weaknesses and dry air and everything. So let me get to that. Unfortunately, there we go. You can see the track here. It's going to be moving towards the Caribbean. Just as a strong tropical storm, it's supposed to maintain a strong tropical storm all the way until it reaches somewhere just east of the Bahamas by Monday. And at this point, you know, computer models are bringing it close to the coast, but could swing it out again, just like Katia. But this one's tracking a little farther to the coast. I would definitely keep an eye on this. It seems like it's not going to be as strong as any of the other previous storms, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And here's Tropical Storm Nate. It's expected to become a hurricane and basically wrap around and possibly make landfall in Mexico. Now, some computer models are bringing it farther north, some are bringing it into the Gulf, but this is the consensus now of this current tropical storm. So, very active season, and we already had our hit now, but still keeping an eye on Maria and Katia, and also Nate in the Gulf. And that's pretty much going to be the final update on Irene, obviously. So this is the final update for Irene, and just showing you how active this hurricane season has been thus far. As you can see, we have 3 storms all at once. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for, subscribing and checking out my videos. This is my channel. I'm at 49 subscribers. Hope to get 50 soon. And I'll have more videos regarding tons of different stuff coming up soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.